Unaccounted Rick Rock TV. Let's get to the content.
So the coach said, I seen Nolan Wells around 3 o'clock, 3:30. Seemed like he was fine. He wasn't drunk or anything. Around 5 o'clock-ish, there was supposed to be an altercation that was seen by a witness that Nolan Wells had an altercation. And we seen that altercation. We also seen one of Nolan Wells' friends try to come out and say that wasn't Nolan Wells arguing, that was me. Right? But we have a witness that seen that Nolan Wells had an altercation around 5 o'clock. Around 7:30, nobody seen Nolan Wells anymore. Okay? So we're going to get to this. Officer Tatum, he's saying it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. If he wasn't seen after 7 o'clock and there was still people on the island, nobody seen him after that. Okay, let's go over here and check this out, man. This is a Poetic Flacco. Let's go check him out.
I think they just accidentally told us who killed Nolan Wells, and I don't think they even realized it. But everybody is happy and celebrating this newfound information except one person. That person is Officer Tatum. But here's the thing. He got exposed today, too. These white folks exposed Officer Tatum's tea. His career is over after this, bruh. Because how can anybody take anything he says seriously after you hear what they just found out about Tatum? Earlier in the day yesterday, Cajun Navy, who, by the way, is the independent organization who went looking for Nolan and discovered Nolan Wells' body. They don't work for the family of Nolan Wells and they don't work for the friends of Nolan Wells. They are an independent body. They released what they believe is the most likely
timeline. They the ones who got the pictures that we seen on the last video that would be at the end of this video of the boats that was lined up. They said that they asked them, anybody that was there, that they sent us some pictures, and they sent them all the pictures of them boats lined up. You seen people in the water. You didn't see Nolan nowhere in that picture. So they the ones who they doing more of an investigation than anybody else on this case.
Orders of events leading up to Nolan Wells' death starts off that before 3:23 p.m., nobody really knows what took place before 3:23 p.m., but by all accounts, Nolan Wells was alive before 3:23 p.m. The reason why they don't believe that Nolan Wells was dead at this time is because there's like this photo of Nolan Wells in the water surrounded by boats. They're claiming the photo was taken around that time, 4:27. Now, once the friends got done with the emergency call that we heard, the audit where they were claiming they were sinking, once they got done with that call, and then whatever they had to do with the boat, there's a photo at 4:27 p.m. of them getting ready to go. At 4:31, they had left the island and they were sailing off. At 5 p.m., this is where the nonsense starts right here. This is where the nonsense starts, okay? Now, if we are to believe the friend, again, people, we have to explore different theories because we don't know exactly what took place. If we were to believe the friends and they said, hey, he was not with us, we have no idea where he was, but we ain't do nothing wrong. If we just take that into consideration for a moment, wouldn't these next 4 series of events be a little odd? So they quote unquote left at 4:31 p.m. At 5 p.m., all right, Matthew Lamp states a passenger was pretty certain a person was part of a group that was almost fighting around 5 p.m.
All right. There we go. So this is a witness who said, I seen a group in the altercation at 5 p.m., 4:30, the phone call was made for the boat sinking. Maybe this why we heard the people saying Nolan's name on that boat. They said they left around 4:31 p.m. In between that time, the phone call was made and 5 o'clock. In between those timelines, it was an altercation going on. And on that phone, emergency phone call, you could hear a lot of ruckus and arguing, and it sounded like it was panic on that phone call.
He says the Bertram with blue top left shortly afterwards and fast, not believed to be a factor at this time. I beg a differ. And the reason I must beg a differ is because even Tatum, the dude who came out and said there's no evidence of any foul play happening, that Tatum, he was forced to admit through an eyewitness that someone saw Nolan get into a fight or an altercation with somebody else. and they DM'd that person, hey, you're going to jail. I seen what you did. You're going to jail.
Who was they? Who DM'd who? Who was the people that DM'd who? We need to get them in for questioning. Who was they?
I seen you and Nolan having that altercation. I seen it. The person who Nolan had the altercation with have not been identified yet.
Ain't that strange? That's strange. If he got into an altercation, why he haven't been identified yet?
We don't know their names. We don't know when the altercation took place.
If the witness who said he seen them in the fight, I'm pretty sure he might can identify who he was in the altercation with, how he looked, how many people was there when he got into an altercation. Yeah, they need to come in. That's why I say, who was they? Who was the person that said he seen him in the altercation, and who did he DM?
There's multiple people involved, people that may have seen Nolan last, but is not being truthful and coming forward as to what they saw, who was with him last. And we have various people that have come out or come to us with the information, and one was sent in a DM.
Who's DM?
Honing in on one particular person that may have been in an altercation with Nolan that alluded to the fact that, and I messaged this person because I want to talk directly to the person.
Man, come on, man. You messaged this person, but you haven't exposed who this person is yet. You telling us this person, I messaged this person. Who is the person? Why you didn't put their account? Why it didn't pop up right now? You could have made it pop up on the screen. You could have showed us who you messaged, who you DM. Who is this person? Why you haven't went to law enforcement?
Person that I saw the DM from. And we haven't talked to this person yet. But the person said in the DM to another kid that is associated, not any of the kids that I interviewed to talk to, but that could be associated to some degree, that knew Nolan, that this person wrote a message saying, me and my husband saw you arguing with Nolan, and to the effect of you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison.
Why they haven't came? Why they haven't been interviewed? Why they haven't came to the internet? Why they haven't showed? I'm pretty sure why they haven't showed their face. They don't want to be targeted, but at the same time, they need to be getting in contact with Ben Crump.
That would mean that Nolan Wells was involved in an altercation that's unaccounted for, that has not really been accounted for yet. Nobody is stepping forward to speak on this altercation. We don't know when the altercation took place, how it took place. We know nothing about it.
That probably could explain the bruises on the back of his head and the other bruises that was on his arm.
So hence when you tell me there is also another altercation that's unaccounted for at about 5 p.m. after apparently Nolan Wells was saw around 4:27 p.m., an altercation around 5 p.m., according to y'all, took place. And then by 7:30, nobody knew where Nolan Wells was. Yeah, I will beg a differ when you say, oh, this means nothing. Of course it means.
After that, yeah, it do mean something. After that altercation, we don't see him no more. After last time they seen him he was in an altercation. Another witness seen this, according to Officer Tatum. And at 7:30, 2 hours later, 5 o'clock? He's no longer seen no more after that. He sure wasn't on the island after 7:30. Because you got a witness who said we didn't see him no more after 7:30. So he left with somebody.
Something. Nolan Wells was involved in an unaccounted for altercation. And that's being documented by the very people who is anti-conspiracy, who is anti the family, who is anti-people like myself who believe Nolan Wells was murdered. So those same people is telling you there's an unaccounted for altercation that Nolan Wells was involved in. It was unaccounted for. And it took place right around this time, right around 5. Because by 7:30, by 6 p.m., There's like,
So what was the friends at around between the hours of 5 o'clock and 6 p.m.? Where was the friends? What were they doing around that time?
there's no Nolan Wells. He's nowhere in sight. There were people who was actually on the island. They said they left at 7:30.
And they didn't see Nolan nowhere at 7:30 asking nobody for a ride or anything.
They say, yo, we were one of the last people to leave the island. We would have seen Nolan
Facts.
If he was there. There was no sighting of Nolan. I can't remember the last time I saw Nolan. Last time I saw him was earlier in the day. But somehow this altercation that was so brutal and so violent and so bad that the people who was involved in it had to hop on their boat and leave immediately. Look right here where it says, right? Look, okay. Matthew Lim states a passenger was pretty certain a person was part of a group that was almost fighting around 5 p.m. He says the Bertram with blue top left shortly afterwards and fast. Now, I don't know why somebody would be leaving in a boat fast. What are you in a hurry for? If you were just involved in a little scuffle on the island, like you not, right? Like there's no police around to arrest you. Like, why are you leaving on that boat super fast? Like, what was the hurry? Like, what was the urgency?
Right. Good question.
Police ain't about to arrest you. They're not there to arrest you. No, you were on the island. Look, you should be able to hop in your boat and sail off. For you to hop in that boat and boom, you were running away from something. Now, I don't know what they were running away from. I honestly don't know what they're running away from. But you can't tell me that's not suspicious, bro. You can't tell me that timeline doesn't give you cause to pause. Now, here's the thing, though. Tatum hates the fact that Cajun Navy released this timeline. The very people who claim that they just want to find out what happened to Nolan, we should start race hustling and stop.
Because it makes everything that he's done interviewing them people look like he went for the okie doke.
Stop race hustling, stop race grifting. Just look at the facts. Cajun Navy, an independent source, put out the facts, and we're looking at the facts, and guess what? They're now upset because they feel like Cajun Navy took away from their narrative.
Right.
And they're fueling the rumors and they're fueling the fire. I'm sorry, bro. This is a neutral, non-biased, company. They just put out the statements of facts, and the statements of facts, yet again, point in the direction of something really bad happened to Nolan Wells.
It wasn't no drowning.
I'm not going to do that. We reviewed this thing, and it's a nothing burger. I don't even know why the Cajun Navy put this out.
He's mad. He really upset. He really upset because he wanted to be the one to save the other guys. Right? Took their side of the story, which could have been a lie. We don't know if it's the truth or the lie. And he ran with it and was adamant about it. Now in the Cajun Navy, the ones who found Nolan Wells' body put out these statements. He's upset because it's a numbers game over there, evidently. Now it's going to seem like he's not reliable. He's not a reliable source of information.
There's nothing there. Maybe it gives people fodder. They can create a lie because they know you're not going to read 26 pages. But I'm going to have Grant read the synopsis because we went through.
If Tatum is supposed to be neutral and unbiased, why do Tatum react?
Hey, come on, man. Exactly.
So, he reacted so defiantly against any piece of anything that's being put out that does not perfectly fit his narrative or narrative that, that people who think like him is putting out there. And then I saw this video, man, by this wonderful content creator called J. Marie. And maybe, just maybe, this is the reason why Tatum is so defiant against anything that doesn't fit his narrative and the narrative that he's trying to perpetuate.
Why aren't we seeing footage of them returning that day? We know that Nolan was with them when they left. So why do they have the security cams from that morning?
Ooh-wee. Wow. Nobody thought of that one. We seen Nolan Wells leave with them on a security camera. Where is the footage when they brung the boat back?
Not that night. Whose grandparents lived there? Jax Patalo, whose family owns a pharmacy. It goes back deeper than that because George Patalo Sr., which is Jax's great-grandfather who is deceased, as it turns out, his great-grandfather was appointed and served on the staff of Mississippi Governor Cliff Finch. As you can see, I've confirmed Jax's relation to him. And as it turns out, Cliff Finch, well, he was in the Mississippi House of Representatives from 1960 to 1964 and supported racial segregation and backed the racist governor, to preserve segregation in the state. The federal grand jury conducted a 3-year-long investigation into his administration and several state agencies, and they were all accused of corruption and mismanagement. Finch was never found guilty himself, but some of his aides and appointees were indicted. And those sort of political connections seem to trickle down through the generations, so now we know why the governor got involved. And I started looking into the lawyer that's handling the defamation case from the Bart family. So from 2015 to 2018, he was state director of Americans for Prosperity. Then in 2018 to 2020, he was vice president of Stand Together while being vice president of Americans for Prosperity. Stand Together is a Charles Koch nonprofit, and Americans for Prosperity is a libertarian conservative political advocacy group affiliated with Charles Koch and David Koch. And if you don't know who the Koch brothers are, they're evil. Guess who's one of the major funders for Turning Point USA? Major donors for the Koch brothers also are primary financial pillars for Turning Point USA, specifically their campus operations. And guess who used to serve as the director of urban engagement?
If you tell
Woo-wee. See? Y'all see what the internet doing? Y'all seen what these videos doing? It's pushing the envelope. Got people digging. It got people searching and digging. Every time y'all share a video, my video, Flacco's videos, Willie D video, all the other people who doing the Nolan Wells content, they mad because we not covering the street content right now. I don't care about what the street guys doing right now. The views is going to be what it's going to be. But for the people that watch it, they could be the ones who share it to somebody and it's going to keep coming out. Now look what's happening. We finding out more and more about all these people.
me that somebody is connected to that person, that's connected to that person, and that person, and that person, I might tell you, maybe you reach it. But when it comes to Tatum, no. Tatum is so openly contradictory, hypocritical, boldly, blatantly bought out when it comes to this Nolan Wells situation that you have to ask yourself why. Like, why would somebody risk their integrity, risk their good name, their face card? Why would somebody risk their credibility for something that has nothing to do with him, essentially? But now we know the answer. Now we know. Now we know why they only reached out to Officer Tatum out of everybody. Isn't that strange? They could have reached out to Law and Crime. They could have reached out to TMZ. They could have reached out to a million different outlets. They reached out to Officer Tatum and Officer Tatum only.
And why is that? Why is that?
He's the person they chose to come and sit down with the kids to have a conversation. And now we probably know why they chose him, because they're all connected.
Wow. They
all are connected. Tatum was brought in to do damage control. And I'll be real with y'all. Right? I'll be real with y'all. He has done a wonderful job in stirring up white folks. He has done a wonderful job in galvanizing white folks. See, he can't galvanize black folks. We don't respect him. He don't got that cachet. He's like he can't show up and get nothing done. But he has done a beautiful job at galvanizing white folks against Nolan Wells' family. The most sickening part about all of this, right, was when Tatum says he's not donating to Nolan Wells' GoFundMe because he don't know what happened yet, right? And he has gone on this absolute tirade for the last couple of weeks where he's saying, oh my God, the family is in this for money. Benjamin Crump is in this for money. He has critiqued the fundraiser. He has critiqued the Gifts and Go.
But why he haven't critiqued the Gift and Go of Nolan Wells' friends? Why he ain't said nothing about that?
He has critiqued everything about this family raising money after Nolan Wells passed. But here is Tatum reacting to Nolan Wells' friends asking for $200,000 on a GoFundMe on a Give, Stand, Go. Here is his reaction to this. Now you're about to witness how biased and just like clearly void
Come on, sure. Give it to us. Give it to us. Give it to us.
of all principle this man is.
So anybody that believes that these boys need legal fees taken care of or whatever else they need, go ahead and support.
Wow. And with that being said, I'm out of there. I'm done with him. Y'all see what we deal with? This is what we dealing with, man. Not just in this case. It's what we dealing with all around the board. We can't win for losing, man. When you got your own folks, man, look at him, man. When you got your own folks, man, that'll do you in. And it's going like that now. I'm going to do a regular video without a reaction. I'm going to talk about the LA streets and the jealousy and the dudes that's from the LA content creating platforms, how jealous they is of one another, and all they do is talk about each other every single day. We're going to jump into that. Leave y'all thoughts in the comment section. What do y'all think about this video? Share the video. It's Compton Rick Robert, Compton Rick Rock TV. I'll catch all of y'all on the next reaction.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Compton Rick Rock TV. Also, hit that notification bell and catch every video when I drop.